the Congress party in particular. The Congress party in Karnataka has been facing the ire of many ticket aspirants and their supporters. Queen's Road in Bengaluru city, where the Karnataka Pradesh Congress Committee office, KPCC office is present, witnessed clashes between the supporters of aspirants. DK Shivakumar made it clear that they are not in a position to accommodate the interests of many aspirants, as they're also seeing several turncoats returning to the Congress party fold. Meanwhile, Congress party sources also say that aspirants are finding themselves caught in a battle, really, between DKS and Siddaramaiah. And that's interesting because that comes in the back of the rivalry of the chief minister's face between them. Sudha Sadanand continues to be with us in the studio, my colleague and friend. Sudha, talk to us. Already you have the who is going to be the chief minister face. And this time around, Congress party has a problem of plenty. So many aspirants, because so many who have from the BJP and the JDS who have come back to the party, they have the money might to demand these tickets, and there's just too many. And whoever it doesn't accommodate, Congress party is likely to turn them against them.
Absolutely, we saw Gopalakrishna, which was very, very dramatic. But the point is, and I would like you to take to Mr. Hegde or Mr. Chitnis, ultimately it's the caste equation.
Right.
One is a Kuruba leader, the other is a Vokkaliga leader.
Right.
And if you look at percentages, you will get a different perception. And
right.
it's
Vokkaligas form a much bigger vote bank than Kurubas.
You can't just straight away say, okay, 2 plus 2 is 4 here. It could be 6 as well. Yeah. And of course, but then Vokkaligas also, there is a big problem because if you look at it, the JDS seats majorly into the Vokkaliga vote share. Yes. Now Kuruba and Siddaramaiah is a tall leader. Mr. Hegde was or Mr. Chitnis, I don't know who it was, who was saying that he has a mass following. It is not just Kuruba, it's Ahindas also, which is, the minorities, the Dalits, the Christians, and so on and so forth. So he's seen, and it really matters in politics as to what the caste equations are. Right. You and I could be friends, but ultimately it's about the winnability of a particular candidate, which is going to really decide the fate of. And let me tell you something, there have been scenes in Bengaluru where there have been lots of friends of DKS who have really been there, of course with his brother Suresh as well, but ultimately are they all going to get tickets is a big question mark.
Big question mark, multi-million dollar, multi-crore question mark. Let me take that question mark across to Bhaskar Hegde, who continues to be with us. Bhaskar ji, the Congress party has to accommodate a lot of aspirants this time around simply because of so many people coming back to the Congress party fold. And interestingly, from what I understand, most of these aspirants have the equal amount of heft in terms of money power and people power, and it's going to be difficult for the Congress party to pick the final 11, so to speak, in the cricket match. It's when you have a squad like this, it's very difficult to pick the final 11.
Yes, I agree with you, Krishna. There's one more point we have to discuss. See what happened in Congress party. DK Shivakumar, in the beginning, what he said, this time we will not give you ticket unless you apply for it. This is the first condition they have set. And along with that, they have to pay a few lakh rupees to get application form for the MLA post. So this is the process they have started. Initially, DK Shivakumar said, unless you apply through a proper channel and this process, we will not consider, no matter who he is or she is. So now what happened? Now when the election process got the heat and suddenly people started coming from JDS and BJP, now DKS has quietly pushing some of the names who came from outside. So in other words, he has dumped the candidates who paid a few lakh rupees officially to the party to get a form. Okay, number one. Number two, the initial promise that he made, that those who filled the form and given it to the party, they will be considered, and those who come from outside or those who come should be via shortcut will not be considered. He himself is violating. I think this is the reason why people are cut up with DK Shivakumar and the party, and that's why we are witnessing a protest outside PCC office, number one. So finally, as Sudha said, I think the winnability is the factor. No matter what DK Shivakumar said earlier, he will not give a go-by to his words, and they will try to win as many seats as possible. And within, of course, not to say that both Siddaramaiah and DK, they will try to ensure more number of their supporters get the ticket and they win, so that in the legislature party they can support him.
Right. Let me take the response to Mahesh as well. Mahesh, you have about 35 seats in which there's a big tussle between either Siddaramaiah supporters and the DK Shivakumar supporters alone. And then you have the new aspirants in the Congress party. How critical will this allocation of seats be for the Congress party when it comes to, being good enough to get a simple majority? That's what they should be looking forward, ideally. Or how much of all these rift and problems and fighting on Queen's Road could derail the Congress party's final tally?
I think the drama is yet to begin, Krishna. One thing we need to understand is the 124 seats which were released by the Congress, it had mostly sitting MLAs and some of the tallest leaders of the party and some of the people who defected early last year. So now the 100 seats that are being discussed currently at the CEC are the ones which were kept pending because there were more than 2 to 3 aspirants who had filed applications, as said by my colleague Bhaskar. So now these were the seats where there is a lot of competition. And as you mentioned, there are 35 seats where DK Shivakumar and Siddaramaiah supporters are battling it out. So I think once this seat allotment is released, now then only we will come to know the original dissentment among the aspirants and more defections. Till now, what we are seeing is defection from only one towards Congress. I think once these seats are released, we hope to see defection from Congress to JDS or Congress to BJP. So I think we'll have to wait till the second list to get the complete picture what the ground situation stands at.
Right, Mahesh Chitnis there joining us with that view from Bengaluru. Let's stay with us, Mahesh. Let's quickly listen to all the political reactions coming in on the story and then we'll continue. All right, before that, let's quickly talk to Sudha as well to see how she's reacting to these visuals, the skirmishes outside the Congress Pradesh Committee office in Bengaluru on Queen's Road. They say this is not exactly the first time that this has happened on Queen's Road.
That's right.
Sudha.
Yeah, people who know Bengaluru like you do, Krishna, and I do, Queen's Road is the place where it has witnessed these repeated kind of, tussles and skirmishes, like you say, time and time again. And, I would say even now it is kind of peaceful. If you look at some of them, they are holding placards and they are sitting there. There is not too much of, otherwise there is tugging and jostling to a great extent. We have seen in the past, and threatening voices and threatening noises. And, look at those placards. They're very clear. I mean, we keep talking about brushing the rivalry between Siddaramaiah and DKS under the carpet, but it's like really, it's screaming there. Look at that. That is a bit, which is peaceful. But then if we can look at the visuals where, some of them are jostling each other. So like you said, there you have it. There you have it. Who will get the ticket? I mean, it's almost like fastest feet first.
It's a street fight. It's a street fight out there.
Yes.
Right.
That's what it is. But then ultimately, like we've all, agreed that, it's going to depend on the winnability of a particular candidate, whether he can make it or not, Krishna.